GNSV, and this is our built environment. Some news from the past week: a company formerly known as Twitter is leaving San Francisco, of course, to move about 45 miles south to San Jose, not Texas. Uh, might not be California being too expensive to operate in after all. Um, Another big news: Caltrain has celebrated their grand opening of their new electric rail line. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to try this one out for myself. I'll make a separate video on that when that happens. I'm excited for that one. And the Olympics have wrapped up. California's most populous county, LA County, will be the host, and planning is well underway. Since 2017, they've added only 8 miles of new metro rail. However, they also have 4 new projects that are under construction right now. 3 of those are going to be open before the games begin. One of them is a big one that's coming from the airport that's going to be able to get people in LAX and then all throughout with the county from there. So shout out to the LA hosting committee. Good luck with planning. Hopefully get some more rapid transit bus lanes. That would be very vital to make this future Olympic Games a true car-free Olympic Games. Now the picturesque might not be as great as Paris, but we're gonna see what happens. Just want to say before we move forward, everybody, if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. Follow me on X. Just subscribe buttons right down below. Please, I appreciate it. Alright everyone, it's August, and as most of you are preparing to do, it's back to school month. Whether that's as a parent like myself or as someone going to school, it's time. And with the school, back to school time comes car drop-off lines. Everybody's favorite, right? So if you're in those lines, whether you're a kid or an adult, you are not living your best life there, And my critique coming next isn't to put the blame on anybody here. Everything that it came to this moment for you to need those car lines and rely on your car as a mode of getting your kid to school it's been decades in the making. School lines didn't just fall out of a coconut tree. So, how do I feel about these school car lines? Well, first, I think they're unbearably long. I mean, objectively awful to be in, right? It's stressful for the parents. The kids are bored. The kids are annoyed. Kids might be annoying a little bit. Nobody's having a good time, but you gotta get to school and you gotta get your kid to school. And so now it's time for good old Uncle G to give you a little history lesson. So my family has grown up in San Jose, and when they were kindergartners, they actually were able to walk to school on their own, about a mile each way. That was in the 60s. So what's changed since then? Well, cars today are more powerful. They're faster, they're stronger, or their acceleration is insanely better, right? Each house has more cars registered to it, so there's more cars on the road. So the combination of cars moving faster and more of them has built this environment where you are racing wherever you can go, because you're anticipating traffic. Combine that with the fact that a lot of people back then also just walked around more. Maybe they even biked more, just for not just exercise, but just they were daily needs, right? My family, when they were kids, they would walk to the market on the corner of the corner market store, pick up some goods for dinner or whatever it is. They were able to do that all on their own, total confidence that they would be fine walking there and back. A little quarter mile, half mile, whatever it was each way. And I think that's a really good way to, not just give kids freedom to be able to travel on their own, but also it gives them a sense of responsibility. They're helping out the family in whatever way they can. That's seems like a pretty good thing to give kids an opportunity to do. So today people are just in such a rush though, and I think a lot of it is because we're in this position where we expect traffic. The longer workday is that we see today, combined with longer traffic than we saw then, it all just amounts to being away from your loved ones more. So you're mentally just trying to get home to be able to see people you love, right? So that because people walk less today, they're less careful around intersections and so forth, and you see parents not wanting their kids to be able to navigate streets on their own because it's just less safe. And while theoretically it's more safe in some ways, or statistically rather it's more safe in some ways, theoretically the mindset is also it is fairly unsafe comparatively in other decades, right? So now we move into the 70s here, and suburbs were built. Now, when the suburbs of Silicon Valley were built, they were built so that way they had these large streets, high capacity, high speed, and inside there was a suburb. And inside of those streets, within the suburb, was the school, elementary school specifically. And coincidentally, 1978, Prop 13 passes, which limits property taxation from increasing with supply and demand and the value of property, and instead it caps it to only be able to be increased 2% each year based on when you purchased your home and based on that sales price then. Suddenly school districts can't afford to keep all the schools open because the property tax, when they were built, was designed to match whatever the needs were. Then they had to close some schools. Class sizes started getting bigger. Schools were being rented out to private schools and whatnot, so we still see some of that today. Some property was sold off because they needed a lot of money a little bit quicker than rent would provide them, and then some schools were sold off for different developments. It's an unintended consequence, which is what has put Silicon Valley as having a boring, frustrating, dangerous school drop-off line. And you'll see many parents even walk their kids, they'll park their car, walk their kids to school, and try to be a part of their daily routine, be a part of their morning and whatnot, rather than simply wait in line the entire way to try to get in and out of the school line. So, what's there to do about all this? This is a good time to bring out the boogeyman word, equity. I know, right? Equity in this case is just like every other case though, actually. Equity is finding out the best method for success and implementing it. It doesn't actually mean giving everyone the exact same outcome. It means giving everyone the best opportunity to succeed. Within that, it means not using a blanket approach for everything. It means analyzing which neighborhoods need what, and being able to provide methods in order to give success a better opportunity and an opportunity for everybody to succeed, because we all want to have that equal opportunity, right? And so you don't have 100% success rates with this, but it is something that's worth putting time and effort into. In my mind, that could mean, finding the greatest distance that parents would want their kids to walk, scooter, or bike to school, and something could be created such as a bike bus. A parent or a volunteer might even be able to run this bike bus. Maybe if we're lucky, we can actually be proactive and understand that not every parent is going to have an opportunity to run this bike bus, and maybe it could be something like a school crossing guard job would also be, and organizing the bus route, or bike bus route rather, and then gathering up all these kids. If you're familiar with the bike bus, there should be a video somewhere floating around here, so that way you can see how it works in practice. This is another option that can be done in order to promote something like a bike bus, is something called filtered permeability, that would allow bikes to be able to flow completely through a street, but would not allow cars to be able to. So cars get rerouted in order to fit the best school drop-off line for making a bike bus safe, in order to keep as many cars off the street in whatever that area is. And DOT, Department of Transportation, they can work with the schools, the school districts, in order to create the best route for a drop-off and for a bike bus, because it's not going to be perfect for everyone, right? Everybody's going to have their own preferences. But that filtered permeability could also work as far as getting people to be able to just drop their kid off and be able to have a safe walk to school on a shortened route, even in a way that you don't have to wait. You don't have to drive all the way and wait in line to get to the school, because so many other parents could be doing it. There are some real improvements that we can make, and it's going to take a big team effort. Another big one, especially when it comes to biking farther, which is probably more along the lines of a middle school or high school, is actually having, real physical barrier bike lanes. A lot of people would complain about maybe it's the cost, maybe it's the lack of on-street parking, because maybe you have to remove on-street parking in order to create these lanes. But I have a counterpoint. I'm just curious, are kids, the prime intended audience for these specific school-oriented bike lanes, worth the extra cost? Did you say no? Okay, because to me they are, and I know it's a lot of extra added cost, but I also think that you might believe all lives matter. So let's just treat it like that. And I hope that joke landed for everyone. So the bottom line here is that there are safer ways that we can get kids to school, get kids to school out of a car, and give them some of the needs that kids deserve to learn as they grow up to become self-sustaining adults. We've been hearing a lot about kids being weaker mentally, and being able to do things on their own. This is a great way to reverse that trend. It's okay to make them walk in the rain. They can have umbrellas and rain gear, But also educate your kids about how to be safe while navigating streets. There are safe ways to do it. So I think we have a good baseline for improving our kids' lives here. While we work on bolstering the tax base again, to regain the lost schools we have, those fast, wide, speed-friendly streets, as was the original intent with those, we can work to make things better. Two things at once. We can work hard and continue to push for improvements at our schools, and at our neighbor schools. And it won't be long until we improve our built environment. Thank you. if you watch this whole video, thank you so much. If you want more opinions from a husband and dad that's finishing his degree to advocate for meaningful changes to the built environment that is Silicon Valley, please like and subscribe. Until next time, have a good one, y'all.